How many people want to be an influencer in network marketing? Say aye. There are some things that you can do to make that happen, and there are other things that you can do that will destroy your influence. I call them the 10 deadly sins of network marketing. And before I start, I have a confession to make. I have committed most of them. Not all of them, and I'm not going to tell you which ones. But I've committed most of them. If you're around long enough, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. When I started off, my ambition, my hunger, sometimes made me step over the line. That hunger dragged me into places. You know what's really a dangerous phrase? Whatever it takes. There are some things that are not worth it. There are some things that will damage you and your reputation, your heart and your soul, and you didn't even know it. So be careful with whatever it takes. Be careful where the hunger pulls you. When there's a line, you know the line. Be careful you don't step over. And if you do, like I have, be smart enough to step back. And then to be patient enough to own your decisions and also own the damage of relationship that you might have created from those decisions. And in love and in patience, wait with service and change of your behavior for your reputation and your relationships to heal. Some people step over the line, they really hurt people, they step back, and then they expect everybody to be okay if they just say they're sorry. And that sorry is the beginning. It's sorry and then show that you're sorry over a long enough period of time, and then forgiveness can really show up. Okay? People might forgive, but they're not going to forget. So I'm going to give you these 10 deadly sins. And I just want you to think about this as an influencer, use this as a roadmap for yourself and also a roadmap for your team. Because when these things show up, they will destroy influence. They will destroy your ability to lead. They will destroy your capacity to make a difference in people's lives. So, number one, over-inflating your income, your product. Lying. You got a check 1 month and it was an awesome check, and from then on, even though your income fell down, you tell the world that that's what you're making. You qualify at a certain level in your company and you got the PIN, and you haven't qualified at that level for 3 years. But you still got the ego about the PIN. Everybody knows that you're not qualified there. There's no secrets in network marketing. Are you kidding me? Everybody knows when you lie. Everybody knows when you stretch the truth on your income. Everybody knows when you lie about your rank. Everybody knows. It's just bad. It's so much better for you to be patient enough, because I understand it. You start in and we're leveling up and we're leveling up and we're ranking up and we're leveling up. And isn't this exciting? We're leveling up. Nobody wants to level down or even admit it. And the lie is from commission, saying it, and the lie is from omission, not correcting people. You get introduced as the $1 million earner and you're not. You need to say, no, I've touched that before, but nothing's permanent. I'm rebuilding. I'm at this level now. It's okay. It's better. The whole world knows. Just tell the truth. Truth will set you free, and there are no secrets. Don't think that there are. I understand. I came from a world that was super hype. In my first year, 1 month, I made $18,000. Big promotion, big thing. Guess how much I said I made for forever? $18,000 a month. I got the check to prove it. There's months after that there were $2,000. I didn't talk about those months. Everybody knew. So that's number one. Number two, being a bully. There's a difference between being strong and being rude. There's a difference between being an influencer and being a tyrant. There's a difference between respecting and enforcing your culture and being a bully. There are a lot of bullies in network marketing. Out of their own insecurity, that's where bullying comes from. Out of their own inadequacies, out of their own ego, they push people around in a million different ways. They bully people because they have influence with the company and they put somebody else down. They bully people in their downline. They bully people in their upline. They bully people with their pin. They bully people with their check. They bully people with their special relationship they have with some decision maker. They bully people all the time. The bullying, I will tell you, some people do it because it was done to them. They bullied me, so now it's my turn. They can kiss my toes, you know? They can say uncle. It will destroy your influence over time. Be aware that the bully side is incredibly dangerous. Number three, talking negatively. And this is not just, people love to say negative upline, positive downline. Go talk to your upline negative and talk to your company negative. Oh yeah, like the upline and company love that. There's part of some people need significance by being the bearer of bad news. That's how they get their significance. So they go to the upline and they whine and complain about stuff. You know, a company CEO, you want to wreck his life? You want to wreck his weekend? Send a nasty email on a Friday. This poor guy will think about it all weekend. It'll wreck his whole weekend. The whole company will know about it the following week. What do we do? And you'll be, even though he's going to look for the truth in whatever it is that you're saying, you'll be, in a quiet way, put in a separate category of the troublesome, the challenging. Even if it's subconscious. Now, you want to make his life? For no reason and no agenda, just send a thank you on a Friday. And tell him 10 reasons why you're grateful to the company. That'll get sent to every department inside the company. It'll be put up on the wall. It'll be cause for commendation. That's what's going to happen over and over and over again. You want to make his life? Do that. Be a giver of positivity. They already know the negative. And if you bring positive long enough, then you've earned the voice. So when they say, what's really going on? You can give them, well, shipping is this and customer service is that, but I love you. You'll earn a voice to be able to do that. Negativity is it's a disease if you're not careful. Pretty soon, gossip turns into backbiting, turns into judgmental, turns into cynical, turns into a negative spiral within the organization. Then everybody starts competing, see who can be the most negative. Oh, you think that's a negative story? Let me tell you a story. They compete to see who can do better. I've got a worse story than yours. My product didn't show up for 4 weeks, blah, blah, blah. Next. Inconsistency. This is the thief of your growth. It's the thief of your influence. Biggest challenge I had for my entire career was inconsistency. I'd be white hot after an event like this. I'd go like crazy in a campaign, and then I'd disappear for 2 months. Then I'd go hard again, and then I'd disappear again. Then I'd go like crazy, and then I'd disappear. And my team lost faith in me that I was going to be there. You need a baseline of consistency. Let me ask you a question. If I asked you to divide your days into 3 different categories. Category number 1 is a productive day for your business. Productive. You got something done. You moved the ball forward. You made something happen. A productive day. Okay? Number 2 is a support day. If you're supporting your team, right? But moving it forward, but you weren't necessarily recruiting or anything like that. You were just supporting, like at your event. It's a support day. And 3rd is a lost day. Lost. The day started and it's just, you lost it. It disappeared on you. If you're honest, in the last 365 days, how many lost days have you had? Honestly. It's a big number. Big number. Way more than your job. Right? So that's where inconsistency shows up. You need a baseline of activity every day. You need a baseline of communication with your team every day. You need a baseline that people can count on and get some security from, because inconsistency creates insecurity within the group, and insecurity causes people to take less action. Next, deadly sin. Spending more than you make. Creating desperate situations. This will destroy you. You get the car before you can afford it. You get the crazy watch before you can afford it. You buy the crazy house thinking the house is going to recruit for you, whatever it happens to be. And what ends up happening from this is it puts you in a desperate situation. You start having to compromise your ideals. You start having to compromise your time. You build a lie. You're telling people about financial freedom and you got all kinds of debt. You're telling people about financial freedom and you haven't paid your taxes. You're telling people about financial freedom and you're behind to the world. And you're saying, no, that doesn't happen. Oh, really? Let me tell you about my $1 million earning friends that are behind on their taxes. It starts when you're at the very beginning of your network marketing career, and if it's not corrected, it will continue. And it's not worth the stress, and it will be stress. And it's not worth the lie, talking about financial freedom, and you haven't cleared up your student loans. Talking about financial freedom, and you go crazy with your credit cards. Talking about financial freedom, and all you do is keep putting in extensions on your taxes. Come on. Get it in control. And if you're in a hole right now, let me give you some advice. If anybody in a financial hole, I'm not going to ask you that, but if you are, it's okay. We've all been there. All of us. I don't even trust somebody that's never been in a hole. I just don't. If somebody hasn't had everything fall apart on them at some point, I don't trust you. Seriously. You don't know adversity. So, if you find yourself in a hole, rule number 1, stop digging. I'm in a hole, but I want to have a nice Christmas, so I'm going to load up these fresh credit cards. I'm in a hole. If you're in a hole, stop digging. And here's how you stop. Let me give you some advice. I've been through this. I've been through financial Armageddon a couple times in my life. Get your financial footprint as small as possible. You don't have to have the fancier car. Sell that and get a smaller car or a less expensive car. You don't have to have that much square footage in your house. Sell the house, get a smaller house. And if you you just sell the house and rent for a while. Whatever you need to do, get your financial footprint small enough that you can take care of all those other things and move forward with your life. If you're working, how many people have a job outside of network marketing? Let me give you the strongest advice. You won't listen to me, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. Don't spend your network marketing money. Not a penny. Not a penny. Don't spend any of it on lifestyle. Let your paycheck from your job take care of your bills, and let your network marketing money be what creates your freedom. Use every penny to pay off your bills. Use every penny to put into investments. Use every penny. to create a financial footprint that you can build on without having to have stress. Every penny. You don't need it now anyway. You got a job. You know what I mean? You know what the new status symbol is today? Debt-free. Debt-free. Not owe anybody anything. That's so much cooler than a fancy car. Depends on the car, but no, I'm just kidding. It is. Being free is the key. All right, next please. Stealing distributors. This happens all the time. This is one I will admit to. My ambition, my anger, my competition caused me to make some mistakes. Somebody shows up at your meeting. You're doing a meeting in your regional, in your area. Somebody shows up and they say, my sponsor's from Zimbabwe. Or the person that told me to come to this event is from Zimbabwe. And, hi Zimbabwe. How are you? Nice to see you. Say hi to Zimbabwe. I was trying to be obscure. And they just say, would you support me if I sign up with my sponsor? Because I haven't signed up yet. Sometimes it's hard to go, oh, they're so far away. It's your decision. You could decide to go with there, and of course we'd support you. But if you were on the team, we could support you more, probably. But, go ahead and do your thing over there and lose money if you want.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
It's ugly. It's ugly. I've done it. I've had people come to my meeting, and because I was on stage early on, they came and say, I'm not signing up with the person that invited me. There's no chance. It's never happening. I'll tell them to their face. I'm not doing it. I need to be involved with the most powerful person in the area. You seem to be it, so I want to sign up with you. I'm like, really? Well, you told them, right? Yeah, I told them. And there's no way you're ever going to sign with them, right? Yeah, not going to do it. Well, I guess I don't have a choice. Regretted it instantly. Some took a little longer to regret, but regret was always there. It happens in so many forms. It happens in that form. It happens from organization to organization. Here's the rule for network marketing. Never take a person from another company that's happy and do anything in your power to make them unhappy. Never take a person to plant a seed of doubt in somebody else. Oh, you're with that company. Never dog another company. Never talk negatively in that direction. Never take a person that's happy and make them unhappy. People switch from time to time. That's okay. I'm not saying that that's not going to happen. Right? It happens. But don't accelerate it. Don't encourage it. Don't target it. Don't be a predator. It's not worth it. It's not worth the reputation. It also happens inside of your own company. You build a great friendship with somebody. We're cross-line. Can you imagine how much we would do together if we worked in the same organization? This would be just amazing. Do you have a brother or a sister or an aunt? We could sign up your aunt under me. You could kind of help your aunt build a business and let yours kind of fade, and then we could work together. And then that one just sits out for 6 months. You could even resign that other one, sit out for 6 months, and then come on over and join me free and clear. We followed company policy. Yeah, you did, but you didn't really follow company integrity. I'm not being judgmental to any of you. Like I told you, I've done most of these. I'm trying to save you the pain of sacrificing. It's like in Harry Potter when Voldemort killed somebody, he lost a little piece of his soul, it got all divided up. That's what happens when you do these things. A little piece of your soul gets, divided up. It does, I'm telling you, it gets wounded. It gets wounded. It takes time to heal. And the healing comes from changing your behavior. Owning up to your mistakes. We all make mistakes. I'm not giving you fire and brimstone. I'm giving you compassion and foresight so you don't make the same mistakes. Next, please. Sleeping around. I told you. I get it. I get it. You come to this conference, you come to some conference, and maybe things aren't great at home. Or maybe you don't have a boyfriend or girlfriend, but you have a pin. And that pin makes you cute. So somebody else extends some courtesy to you, somebody else extends an invitation to you, and hey, why not? We'll see what happens. Nobody will know. Everybody will be very discreet. Nobody will find out. We'll be real, Here's what I'm going to tell you. Number one, everyone will know. Within minutes of it concluding. Woohoo! And I'm not saying you can't find love. I found love in network marketing. I found the love of my life at a network marketing event. But there's a difference between that and acting out. There's a difference between that and being a player. There's a difference between that. There's a difference between that and being promiscuous. You know what I mean? You can get a reputation pretty quick. If you got a different boyfriend, girlfriend every convention, there's an issue. Now, in the age of Me Too, in the age of people feeling like power is being used, power can be used in our world too. People with influence, people with high ranks, people who are on the stage. Some people want to get close to that, and some people will abuse that relationship, have their own little groupies. Some people will look out in the crowd, look for the cutest one, send their friend to say, hey, come, go, we're going to meet in the lounge. They'll do that stuff, I'm telling you. And it will hurt your reputation badly. If you're going to act out, I'm not trying to preach to you, but if you're going to act out, just don't do it inside your group, for crying out loud. Because if it doesn't work, why do you think they have rules against men and women dating in the workplace? Because if the breakup happens, what happens to the workplace? Now, unless you're sure, unless you're confident, unless it's the one, unless you're being a real, responsible, incredible gentleman or gentlewoman, and if it doesn't work out, you can create the softest landing possible over a reasonable period of time in love so it doesn't create drama in the workplace, then fine. But that's pretty rare. People get their feelings hurt. And usually, guess what? The feelings happen when somebody's a player. Guess where the feelings get hurt and the breakup happens? Somebody keeps playing. They cheat on the one they're cheating with in the first place. They double cheat. So, in your organization, if you're single, that's one thing. It's just a reputational issue, and it's a business issue. You will hurt production. You will create distraction. You will create drama. I'm not saying love can't be found, but be cautious in that. Don't show it to the world until you know. Now, if you're married, it's worse. I'm talking to the ladies just as much as the guys. Some of you at home are in miserable situations, and somebody extends some affection, and it's very, very difficult for somebody positive and exciting not to be attractive to somebody else positive and exciting when they have a negative situation at home. I get it. I understand. But just know that if that's your situation, you need to do what you need to do at home in order to be able to move forward. If it's broken, then you need to deal with that before you start anything else. Some people get caught up in the ego, they become a player, and when they become a player, they lose their influence. They become a punchline. They become something to kind of roll their eyes at. They lose their respect. Next. The public addict. I understand that people have challenges. I understand that people they abuse drugs. They abuse alcohol. I get it. All kinds of addiction is real in the world. And I have compassion for people who are addicted, because there are some people that are genetically predisposed and some people who have been so hurt that it is their mask to be able to try to cope in the world. I'm not judging that. But I am saying this. If you wouldn't get drunk on a Wednesday at 2 p.m. at your company office, you probably shouldn't get drunk at the convention. If you want to have a drink and you're okay and it's not something that's going to be difficult to you, I'm not judging you on that. What I would tell you is, if you ever get sloppy, you only have to get sloppy one time before you lose respect. Now, we could take it to the extreme. You could see the leader sleeping on the couch in the hallway in the hotel at 4 a.m. Oh, look at my leader on the floor. Takes all kinds of different forms. There's prescription challenges, and there's illegal substances, and there's alcohol and all that stuff. All I'm telling you, I've never really struggled with this personally. I have family members who have. Some can, some can't with that type of stuff. I'm just telling you, keep it away from your business. Keep it away from your business. Be strict about it. You will never see me drunk at an event. If you see me, I might have a glass of wine that I will nurse for the entire party. Most of the time you'll see me with a bottle of water or Coke or something. Not that kind of Coke. That's private. No, just kidding. Just kidding. So just be careful with this stuff. And when it shows up in your organization, and it will, the best defense is a fast offense. You cannot allow somebody to keep showing up drunk at your company functions. You cannot allow it. You got to let them know. And in leadership, we know how to address an issue and how to escalate it. Same thing with somebody sleeping around. A leader starts sleeping around in your group. The first moment, you don't wait until everybody's talking about it. The first moment, you talk to them about it, and you escalate the issue until it's resolved. Same thing with somebody stealing. You address it immediately, and you escalate it until it's resolved. You either have standards or you don't. As an influencer, you want to be a person of influence, you got to be willing to be unpopular when you're challenging bad behavior from time to time. And it will continue to happen in your organization, okay? All right. Next. Demanding the stage. The ego of me. The disease of me. It's all about me. Join me, follow me. If you go too aggressive on me, now I understand some of you are amazing. It's hard not to take the stage because you can kill it. But if you demand all the stage, here's what's going to happen. Number one, you'll build resentment within your organization. People will resent you over time, even if you're great. Number two, you will chase away all of your good people. Everybody that had a chance to be a great influencer on your team will leave. Because if they don't get any oxygen, if they don't get any sunlight, they'll go find it someplace else. You know why some people leave and go join another company? Because they were tired of living under you when it's all about you, and you never got any recognition, you never got any stage time, you never got any sunlight, you never got any love. So, yeah, I get the shortest path is for you to just do it. If it needs to be done, I'll just do it. But don't get stuck there. You got to be looking inside your team to find somebody who can be an influencer and then give them some sunlight. They go, oh. And you don't even know. You put them up on stage for a minute and you just bought 6 more months. You put them up and they do part of the training, you bought another year. You build influence within the organization by giving oxygen and sunlight to people with potential. And you temper your ego with your abilities. Okay? All right, next. The success coma. This is very common. People make a little bit of a paycheck and they just go into a coma. They stop working, they stop building, they stop doing what got them there in the first place. Nobody can accuse them of not building a business. They show up at the events. They're taking selfies. They're signing autographs. They're kissing babies. They're doing what needs to be done in order to make, show up at the team, be the team person. Maybe they even host a little reception at the convention. But they're not doing what got them there in the first place, and they know it. And they don't quite know why, because there's this disconnect. In leadership, there's this disconnect. Because you're like, we're told, do for 2 to 5 years what other people don't, so you can have what other people won't, right? We're told that. So we do it for 5 years, and then we kind of go, okay, well, it's time for the beach, I guess. It's time for me to just show up and make an appearance. And part of us shrivels up because what started being all about us didn't transition to being all about others. Let me ask you something. If you have the ability to make $100,000 a year, let's say you're making $100,000 a year, and you have the ability to make $1 million, but you're good with $100,000. Is it okay to stay at $100,000? In my opinion, you can if you want to, but it's selfish. Because the paycheck here is a reflection of the number of lives that you're touching and the number of people that you're helping. On Wall Street, if you want to stop, because that's a destructive environment. But here it's a growth environment. So if you could, I think you should, and even if you don't want to have the money for whatever psychological reasons, give it away. It's just a scorecard of how many people you're helping. If you're making $1 million a year and you're really cool and you could be making $1 million a month, should you? Well, I'm good with my $1 million. Many of my $1 million earning friends, there's a little piece of themselves that's missing, and they don't quite know why. They're restless, they're uncertain, they don't know. There's got to be more than this, and they find themselves lost in this income without purpose. Because they're good. They're taken care of. Everything's fine. I should be fine. Everything's great. Let's go on vacation. Christmas is amazing. Oh my gosh, look at our dream house. And they realize real quickly that that's not what life is about. Life is about contribution. Life is about legacy. Life is about growth. Life is about passion. Life is about creation. So find that thing. Let me tell you this. If you go into a success coma, even if you're earning $1 million a year, and even if you have the pin, and even if you have the respect, you have the admiration, you will immediately start to lose respect if you go into a success coma. And pretty soon nobody will listen to you. You'll be a dinosaur. You'll be viewed as somebody who used to build, somebody who used to be a leader. but have stepped out of your leadership in order to be able to, quote unquote, retire. Entrepreneurs don't do that. Is there any more, or is that it? That's it. Here's the 10 deadly sins. There might be more. Probably is. But this is a good start, right? If you want to be an influencer. Now, I want to talk to you about some